thing. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Hey, Steve. Hey, Casual Noises. Wabbit. Tibor, how's it going? Yeah, and I think tomorrow will be the end. can't remember what I've assigned for patches on the instruments. I have to remind myself. Had to adjust my headphones. Good morning. Let's see. Hey, Steve. Oh, here, we'll run this smo. do. There we go. To adjust the levels in there. Some of those are a little loud. Let's get a drone in there too. Just to keep. Maybe an octave down. There we go. All right, I'm happier with that. Let's see. So, good morning, Steve. Casual Noises, Tibor, Freddie. I saw Wabbit in there. Animotion, DP Modern Muso. Let's see. Hey, Semtex Cow. Welcome back. We see James and Jason. It's like Romper Room. I should get a magic mirror to look through. Let's see. Sounds good. Thank you. It's the day before the end. Hey, Doug. All right. So, it's the 30th. Today was rough. We have some sleep deprivation, a little deficit going on here. Picked up over the course of the month, as I'm sure many of you do. But woke up at like 2:30 and couldn't get back to sleep. So, I don't know. My wife was awake too. I don't know why, but so I'm like kind of out of it. So what's going on here today? I'm playing around with this shifting ARP. Let me show you this. This is fun. All right. This one we're listening to here. All right. So what's happening? Let me do it this way. Where are we? So I have this ARP. Bring it up an octave. Oh, hang on. There we go. Have I tried rotating rhythm generator for drums? Like maybe a couple of years ago when it first came out? Yeah. It's a good tool. I'm not so much into circadian stuff. There's lots of ways to generate drums. I'm sort of old school. I'll use a loop as a temp thing, and then I have to like tap them in or program them in myself, paint them in on the clips. That's how I generally work. Let's see. All right. Tag. That was a tag. Sounds good. Thanks. So we tried the. Okay. Here we go. Anyway, so I've got this ARP. All right. And the ARP is there's like 8 variations of this ARP. So there's this one, and they're not all balanced level wise. I was kind of rushing. Right. I'm changing the patch, keeping the same pattern. And that's the 8th one. All right. So I've got a dial I can turn to move through. All right. And what I've done is I've got 2 instances of that ARP. And one of them is the one I was just playing. And then there's this one where I've got an LFO moving us through the variants. It's kind of another form of motion. All right, so if I sustain it. So whatever ARP pattern I play, it just sort of moves through them. I like that from a texture perspective. So that's today's like variant. So I won't say infinite variation, but it's if you're going to go into a floaty space, it works pretty well. And then on top of that, we've got our synth brass. Got a couple different pads. Actually, let me temporarily stop this ARP. We'll go through these. So I've noticed there's a lot tendency now. Noise used to just be noise. It was like white noise. And then we started getting noise with colors. Pink noise, blue noise. And then maybe 3 years ago, I started seeing synths that had noise that was actually just samples of atonal things like water running. And this one's got something behind it that is kind of frying bacon. Kind of a liquid, kind of like frying bacon through a resonant filter with the resonance cranked way up. It's like the sound my dog's mouth makes, kind of sound. So I'm liking that. Hey, myopic mycelium. Anyway, so we've got that pad available. And then with so much motion in stuff these days, like, wavetable scanning and stuff like that, sometimes just kind of plain sound without a lot of vibrato, without chorus and flanging and stuff like that, just a simple filter sweep, real slow. It makes a nice contrast. we've got that pad available, plus our ARPs. And the Rick is there. I don't know, maybe I'm in like a Boards of Canada place this morning. Don't say lo-fi. All right, so that's like a somewhere between like an E-piano attack and a flute signy sort of sustain. I didn't use this in the opening. It's a little rhythmic sequence on the wave state. I'll use it in a minute. It's, again, it sounds like Blue Man Group to me. Do you know Blue Man Group? They've got an instrument that's a bunch of PVC pipes of varying lengths, and they whack them with something that looks very much like a ping pong paddle, a wooden paddle with a rubber surface on it, and then when it hits the end of the pipe, it's that sound. All right, so we'll play with that in a minute. I was in the mood for just sort of paddy things today. Probably because I'm like so frickin' tired. Alright. That's coming off the mod wave. And the Summit's doing its horn thing. Yeah, no supersaws today. This is a holdover from yesterday. I'm going to call this the Animotion Spooky Pad from now on. And then the Blofeld is playing this nice little pluck. Very mid-'80s Tangerine Dream. Yeah. Hey, Davey. Didn't see you sneak in. Yeah. Sleep deprivation always goes Boards of Canada. That's correct, Mr. Jervis. All right, and then let's see. That is the Cobalt 8. And then lastly, oh no, two more. Sorry, this is the Animotion Spooky Pad. Do you remember there was a made-for-TV sci-fi post-apocalyptic movie called Damnation Alley? It had, what's his name? Who played the main character in the television show Airwolf? What is that actor's name? John Michael Vincent, maybe? I just remember the character's name was Stringfellow Hawk. Anyway, that actor, Jan Michael Vincent. That's right, Jan Michael Vincent. He was like, I seem to recall reading this sort of thing somewhere, maybe in Wikipedia, that during Airwolf, he was like the highest paid actor on the network, getting like $1 million per episode. So he was a film actor who went to TV. And that was bad in the 80s, right? So that was like slumming it. And so he did Airwolf. But then they did Damnation Alley, was this movie where they had to it was like a road trip movie. We got to get across the United States in this, sci-fi high-tech cross between a VW and a bus. It's almost kind of like a subway cars. And there was Clash of the Titans style, mutated giant scorpions and things like that they had to deal with along the way. Anyway, but this sound reminds me of Damnation Alley, the film. Well, it's made for a TV movie. I don't know if they split it into a couple nights worth of episodes. Eventually there was an edit where they made a single film out of it. Yeah, 70s sci-fi. Maybe it was the late 70s. I thought it might be early 80s, but in that time. Dang it. There we go. Anyway, this is the Damnation Alley soundtrack piece. The wind is Animotion. And then this is very 80s. Very Art of Noise. Right. That's a Nord A1. Anyway, so those are the sounds for today. And what were we going to do? We're going to do something with this. I have a coworker, speaking of Airwolf, I have a coworker whose last name is, it's of Eastern European. I want to say it might be Polish. His last name is Agnosik. And I learned when I first joined the company, I learned to say his name. Agnosik was his name. But as far as like spelling it and to pull him up in an email, and I was sitting with him one day, and I'm like, I need to come up with some kind of mnemonic device to remember how to spell your name. And he turns to me and he goes, oh, it's the Airwolf theme. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he says it's spelled EGNACZYK. And he sings the Airwolf song as he spells out his name. Instantly, I have never forgotten it. EGNACZYK, because that's the Airwolf cadence. All right. Anyway, let's see. So Jeff does not watch this stream, but Jeff Agnostic, you're super cool with the Airwolf theme reference. Let's see. Do we want to drone with this, or do we want to have it move around? Helps if I do it in time. There we go. I think it'll fix my little timing mistakes. A little too much reverb on there, actually. Oh, helps if I edit the actual. There we go. We're not doing the Airwolf theme. But we're in that mood. really thought I was recording that, but apparently not. Cleaning out the other clips. All right. That was weird. All right, let's try that again. It's not great, but it'll do. What I want to do this as I've sort of like looped myself into a corner. I don't want to do leads yet. I want to get something else in here, but the ARP's not quite what I want. Build it in layers. You know what'll work on the bass here is we'll do some repetition. Or maybe octave ARP. need that running. Notes, long gate. Oh, oops. Messed something up. Oh, come here. That's better. There's the octaves I wanted. I think I've still got a rhythm track in here from yesterday. Let's see. One, I need a drink, and two, what are you talking about? Damnation Alley was 77. Looked it up. Okay, cool. I just remember being little. So, hey, Enginize Them All. Hey, Don. Who else popped in? Gazinagons, hey, you asks, you found the Key to Mod video yesterday. Am I still using that? I am, occasionally. That Max for Live device needs to be updated. It was written with Live 10. So many moons ago, years and years, and I haven't kept it up to date. So I need to update it because it doesn't understand MPE. If you use an MPE synth or put it in a track with MPE stuff, it goes branches to Fishkill and does weird things. So, but look for an update. That's one of the things. I have all of my Max for Live devices that I've released are sitting in a folder called Need to Update, and I'll get around to it. Hey, the Morphe Gorb. L'Oreal, good morning. Morris. Let's see. All right, let's put a lead synth on this. much delay on this. I know, crazy. Oh. There it goes. Fix the bass. The arpeggiator is in the wrong spot. Hang on a second. So, order matters. So when you're using live, you drop devices into the device tray for the track. And MIDI comes in the track. It moves through the MIDI devices in the tray. It hits a synth, in this case the bass. It's flipped into audio, and then you have audio effects behind it. I dropped an arpeggiator in to get the bass to start arpeggiating, do octave runs. But I dropped it after the MIDI transposition, global transposition thing. So the transpose was happening and transposing the note, but it's just a sustained note, okay? And so that note being sustained was being transposed and then passed to the arpeggiator to do the octave stuff. But the thing is, if I change the transposition in the middle of a note being held, that note doesn't get retroactively changed. And so you get these, I'll do transpositions and the bass will lag behind in the transposition because the order was wrong. I need the ARP to be before the global transposition. I'm nerding out. If this may matter to some of you, may not. So we'll see. Now it instantly transposes. Here. I'm not feeling it this morning. It's the sleep deprivation. All right. I'm not in a place for like big beat stuff. I think I need to drone and float, Boards of Canada style. Ugh. So, yeah, not happy with that. It was okay, but I need to just sort of zone. No more ARP. You hush. But I'm not in such a dark place, though. So let's move it down. There we go. A little more pensive. Let's switch that to the other one. This is more my speed for today. If this is too low energy, go have breakfast. Zinagons, YouTube's been recommending you my old videos. I think that's because maybe you've seen too many of the current ones. Question from Engine Einzelmal. With that machine being so expensive, do you get a proper Ableton Live license with it? You mean the push? You do. Well, it depends on what you mean by proper. I would say no, you do not get a proper one. You get like a live intro, tier 1, not the light edition that they give away with like if you buy a Launchpad, you get a live light license. You get live intro, which is enough to do a lot. I actually did a video on is Ableton Live intro or the starter tier enough. And you can get a lot done with it. But no, you don't get like the full-blown live suite. So, no. I also don't recommend getting push standalone unless you have a really strong need, like use case. You're like, I have to be able to perform with the push standalone because, I don't know, the religion of the country I'm going to forbids laptops. I don't know. Like, because buying a controller for a push 3 controller for half the price of push 3 standalone and just keeping a laptop with you, which everyone tends to have from a utility perspective, is much more cost effective. So yeah, to answer your question, you get a live intro license tier 1, but that's it. Let's see, the morphing orb. When you do the transpositions, do you apply it globally, and how does that work in Ableton? Are you teasing me? So I think day 2 of January was the day where I explained how global transposition works, but I've also done a bunch of videos on it. Tell you what, morphing orb, if you stick around for another 15 minutes or so, when I'm done with this little interlude, I'll cover it again, just briefly. Hey, Peter Geist. Good, Freddie. I'm glad I answered that question about push standalone. It's good. It's much better than when it first released. But I can't justify the $2,000 cost. It's crazy. Like, it's a luxury item. It's not a convenience thing. Just get the controller. And if you can't afford the controller, if you don't have the liquid assets for that, because it's also still expensive, it's $1,000, pick up a Launchpad Pro Mark III. Because it integrates well with Ableton, and it's very, very playable. I like it a lot. And it'll control hardware in a DAW-less way. Hi, Craig. Morphing Orb, you'll stick around? Okay, cool. I'll cover it. Here's your Boards of Canada. We'll add this as a layer. Morning, but it's sleepy time. Give me a sec while I modify a little bit here. There we go. All right, we'll use this bed to illustrate the transposition stuff for morphing orb in a moment. Pull this down, and then we'll do a little transposition demo. We did one at the beginning of the January. We'll do this one. This will be the one for the end of January. So those of you who know how this works and aren't they were vibing and not in instructional mood, now is the time to vacate. There we go. Yay. All right. So I'm going to do instructional stuff. So if you guys, we're going to explain global transposition one last time. So if you're on your way out the door, have a great day. Okay. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the final day of January. So bye, Anna. Anna's already gone. That's fine. All right. Looking for tags. Let me see. Yeah, I can't tag the cower. So people who put strange characters in their name because they look cool, they do look cool. I give you that. But they are hard to tag you, right? So whatever. That's a personal choice. See you, James. Bye, Freddie. All right, Morphing Orb, are you still here? So the easiest way to show this, let's see. Let's go here. Give me a minute. If we're going to show how this works, it's easier if we have this. Hang on a sec. Yep, you're still there. Okay, great. As long as the special characters are in at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. Or emojis, right? Emojis are tough in the name at the beginning. You'll miss the daily radio show? Well, we have it on weekends, Freddie. Sundays at 2 U.S. Eastern. Not a problem. Hang on one second. I need to add a layer here so that you can see network. Hang on a second. There we go. Hang on a second. It'll take a moment for me to get this up. Oh, yes. You can do that. And then we'll do this. Okay. And I'm going to temporarily do that. Okay. Hang on one sec. I am making the desktop presentable. One moment. So we're going to dig into live here. So guys, if you want to run away, heads up, we're going to do a little live demo thing here. Okay. I'm not sure if this is legible. If this is coming across the stream in high def enough that you can see the devices that are down in here, down at the bottom. Okay. So Morphing Orb, this is for your benefit. Anyone else who wants to hang out is welcome to do so. But let me know if you can read this highlighted device here. Does that look good? I could go into old man mode and sort of like tell live to make the UI bigger. Actually, let's just do that. Hang on. Where is the I am blind make bigger display? I think it's here. Yeah. We'll zoom more. I think that's probably okay. All right. So what's showing in the stream? How cropped is that? Hang on. Mode block. Yeah, all right, you can read that. I can read that. If I can read that, I hope you can read that. All right, it's readable. Cool. All right, so you need Live 12 for this, okay? So if you don't have, the way I'm doing it today, if you don't have Live 12, all right, Kieran is talking with Doug about Summit versus Hydra. That's cool. You guys carry on. Now, when you, this is the pitch device, okay? Here, let me hide all this stuff. Hide the irrelevant noise. Yeah, I'll keep this one up for a second. So I've got some controls that you don't need to worry about. Yeah, I'll use loops. And here's my instrument. Okay, so this is the bass. We'll get rid of some of the sub. We'll get some of the delay feedback. Okay. Okay, and morphing arp has 12. Okay, so in Live 12, there is a pitch device, okay? I'm going to hide this one. This is the important one right here. There's also up here, this is, here, I'll turn on, you can turn on the little help box so when I mouse over stuff. So this toggle is to put Live set into scale mode, okay? So you turn this on, off, on. You pick a root, right? E. We're in major right now. Let me put this into major. Okay. E major. You cannot see my fingers, but because you're looking at live. But so, and in scale mode in E major, the pitch device has a matching toggle. Use the current scale. So you can tell pitch devices to use the scale or not to. All right, so I've got two pitch devices here side by side. All right, and I'm just going to use this to illustrate. I'll turn this one on. Okay, so this one is paying attention to the scale up here, and this one is not. So if I play, all right, that's my E major scale. Now, if I tell this thing, oh, by the way, go down 1 scale degree. Oh, here, let me alternate. See, as I'm turning the dial down, right? It's moving through the different pitches, but in scale degrees. Whereas this one over here, this doesn't say, this says SD, scale degree. This one says ST, meaning step, like half step on the piano. So if I go, this one, if I go down, so 12 steps is an octave, okay? So this pitch device is not in scale mode, and it transposes in half steps. This pitch device is in scale mode, and it transposes in scale degrees, okay? Okay, so the point of this is that the pitch device is smart and knows what scale you're in if you tell it to be smart, okay? Freddie says, this is making it easier for you to buy. Oh, nice. I'm glad I drove commerce. Okay, some morphing orb. So there are lots of MIDI devices, lots of devices in Live that will obey scale. Okay, ST is semitone, yeah. Semitone or scale degree. Thanks for showing the zoom. Yeah, no problem, DP Monriza. Yeah, it's in settings. It's blind man mode, old guy. Anyway, I usually keep it up. So the way, and so you can just turn this dial. And what I've done is I've mapped a control surface, that Launchpad Mini that was over on the right-hand side, to this dial. So I'm tapping on the Launchpad here, and you could see the dial moving. That's me pressing keys on the Launchpad, which I don't think I've got. I can't show easily because I've got the desktop on top of everything. Trust me. Watch any of the other videos. You'll see my right hand go over to these buttons over here. And I've got them mapped so that when I press the buttons, the scale dial turns, the pitch dial turns up or down an octave or 7 scale degrees. That's an octave up. That's right in the middle. That's an octave down. And so I can transpose everything all over the place. So if I make a little loop here, hang on a second. Let's turn our tempo up just a tiny bit. Okay. And bring my There we go. All right, so I've got a loop running. Now, if we watch this scale degree, this guy, I'm going to turn this off because I'm not using him right now. So this is the pitch device that matters. So if I transpose this, I'm just pressing buttons on the launch pad, and it's turning the dial and doing the transposition. So the pattern that flows through it gets transposed within the key it's in, because the little purple light is on, and it knows, oh, we're in E major, so when you tell me to go down 2 scale degrees, I'll go down 2 scale degrees. It is that simple. So it used to be in live, like, so 10 years ago, way back, I did this. There was no scale awareness in live. All right. So I had a bunch of Max for Live devices that I wrote based on the work of this guy, an artist named Stretta, Matthew Davidson. I had a monome back then. This was pre-push. So the grid I was using was a monome. And he wrote some software for the monome and Max that contained the scale awareness and the transposition stuff. And so I took that apart to figure out how it worked. I ended up using like most of his components and tweaking them a little bit. And then on the monome, I would perform and do the scale division stuff. And then when Max for Live came out not when Max for Live came out, when the push came out, I'm like using the push, and it's like, oh, I want to do this transposition stuff like I was doing on the monome. And so I wrote some Max for Live devices for myself that took the logic out of Matthew Davidson's stuff, put it in mine. I ended up, his was more musically complete, and so I ended up like throwing some of it out and just re-implementing it in a very sort of brute force sort of way, and it worked fine. And that was like the Key 2 mod stuff and a couple other things. You could also achieve the same thing using the pitch device and the Ableton scale device. There's a scale device that you can stack them together. Where is scale? Scale. So this scale device, right? You could tell it, you can do pitch transposition. Let me turn this off. You could use a regular pitch device. It wasn't scale aware, but then you fed it into a pitch device that was scale aware, and it would do the right thing. And so we transposed this forced it back into scale. That worked for a long, long time. And then when Ableton came out with scale awareness, it made it all moot. You don't need to do that anymore. It's like super easy to do. Anyway, does that make it clear for you? Clear as mud? So just put a pitch device on all your instruments and map the SD to the pads. That is exactly it. Every track has a scale device, a pitch device in scale mode, and they're mapped to, so let's look at the mappings. So here are the mappings. Boop. Here they are. So the mapping you do when you map, it depends on how you choose to map it. I've taken 15 pads on the Launchpad Mini, 15 pads, 3 rows of 5. And I've defined them as notes from like C1 to C3. And then in Ableton, I go click on this thing, and then I press the notes on the pad. This mapping comes in. Actually, it's F to G is the way I'm doing it. And you specify, I want it from -7 scale degrees to +7 scale degrees. And you do one of these for every single track that you want to be able to transpose. And that's how it works. It's super, super easy. It's not hard at all. Cool. All right. Morphing Orb, you're happy? I like to use the non-scale notes. So what you do is, I have a row of, I had a row, I'm in the middle of changing it. What you do is you map something else to the power button, the active device activator button on the pitch device. And so if you want to play accidentals or you want something that to not follow, let's say you've got a drone running and you just want it to play the drone, or let's say you've got a lead you want to play and you want to be able to play accidentals, you just map this to a basically another button somewhere that kills it. So if you want to suddenly not be transposed, you just turn it on and off. So you could totally do that on the fly. It works just fine. So yeah, with it on, you cannot play anything outside the key. So no accidentals. And so you'll need to be able to turn it on and off with some switch somewhere. All right, let me go back. Get rid of this thing. Good Lord. Who wants that? I'd rather be floating in space. Okay. Anyway, what time is it? 6:20. I need to shower. Shower and get ready for work. Gazinagons. Figure out how to do this on hardware. You can do it on hardware. There's a bunch of hardware. More and more hardware is like scale aware now, right? So like if you're in Eurorack or if you're using MIDI, my favorite sequencer, the Metropolix, right? If you're in Eurorack, you slap a Metropolix into your rack, or if you're using synths like I am, but you're DAW-less, you get a Metropolix. I think it's called the Metropolix Solo or Metropolix Uno. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically the module in a box with a MIDI interface out the back. And I sequence my hardware synths with it, and it is scale aware, and it will do transposition like this. It is smart. So I have to update to 12 now that I can see it better. Okay, good to know, man. I like to use non-scale notes, but when using pad beds in a bass line, it's nice to have it to follow. Yeah, I wanted my accompaniment to follow me. That's the whole reason I did it, right? I got tired of, so like you have your choice. When you're doing a performance, if you want dramatic harmonic changes, you either need a system like this to allow you to do that, although this is in itself is still limited, or you need to prepare and have changes sequenced and you trigger them to happen, right? And for some people, that crosses the line between live performance and pressing play. I'm fine with it. Like I like to have a prepared sequence that I can jump to do drama, right? And then go back to, because I'll live loop and build stuff up, and then I'll jump to a prepared dramatic thing, jump off to a harmonically weird place, and then come back. It's fun. So anyway, your choice. There's no wrong way to do it. Yeah, no jazz notes. All right, cool. All right, I think everybody's up to date. I am going to call it a day. Tomorrow is the last day of January. I have to try and debate on do I do something special, right? But the well is dry at this point. Great, Steve. I'm glad it was good for you. No problem, DP. All good. Everyone have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, maybe, if you show up. And after that, it'll be Sunday afternoons for the most part. All right. Have a good one, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.